Facebook group. You are live in my home office in South Texas. I'm inviting you for a few minutes to do some branding, growth content, a quick formula. Get it written down here. Let some friends join. You might be able to read that. It says branding, growth, and content. So I was thinking this morning about talking to you guys. What do we want to have a conversation about? So if you stick with me about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm about to have lunch. I want to give you a real quick formula for branding, growth, and content. This isn't something that I'm invented. It's something that other people use. It's something I see, what is it called? Like the seed launch strategy or rocket launch formula. There's a lot of ways we can layer this, but essentially we're trying to solve the problem of branding, growth, development, solving problems that our audience would like to know the answers to. So I'm excited to be with you guys. If you're able to hear me, please let me know here. If you can't hear me, all that stuff. I tried to stream it through OBS, but it was laggy. So we're just going straight on Facebook Live. So here's what we do. All right, Jeff Walker talks about a seed launch. If you're familiar with that, it's going live today. You can go check that out. And his method's really quite interesting for taking your small list, like 5 people or 100 people, wherever you start, and leveraging that to answer questions that people really need the answers to. So I'll dive into that and kind of give you like a super quick overview. And then I'll give you another piece of surveying how we can do this in a method that gets you into a conversation. So for joint venture partners or potential ideal clients, prospects, it can be very helpful. So here's what we're looking at. So somebody wants to, like myself, build a list of audience. In that list of their audience, they want to communicate with them. Usually it's developing content like we're talking about today. So one of the best ways to develop content is something I will ask you guys, and I'll show you the formula that we can use. And I've used this over and over, and I see other people using it again. This is not something I invented. It's something I've learned and used and got results with. So the way it works, quite simply, is we ask a question, like provide a survey. And that question is, what are you struggling with the most? Where can we be the most helpful to you? So I can ask you guys right now, if you'd like, please give me answers to these questions. What are you struggling with the most in getting leads, or in growing your brand, in growth for business development, or where are you struggling the most in creating content, right? Let me know here in the comments, and I'll show you how we're going to use this. So essentially, this is something you can do even if it's just your 5 friends or coworkers or what have you, people in your industry or ideal prospects, right? Depending on what we're doing here, your ideal audience might change. If you're selling something, your ideal audience is going to be customers. If you're bringing brand awareness or awareness to a cause, your ideal audience is going to be other advocates of your cause. So quick formula, right? We're not asked that question. What are you struggling with the most in the thing that where you'll be able to provide the most help? I heard earlier Dave G of ClickFunnels. He's a affiliate master, coach, entrepreneur, all this good stuff. He's a coach strategist. So I heard him mentioning earlier the different ways that he applies this in his business, and that where he learned it was Jeff Walker. Jeff Walker's doing a big in-depth webinar. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll give you the link. So here's what we do. Find out what you're struggling with. What is the main place that we can help? And then when you answer that question, you'll go to a landing page, right? And that landing page will tell people where you're going to inform them of the answers to the top 5. So you guys all ask a question to your audience. I'm asking you specifically, what are you struggling with in branding? What are you struggling with in growth? And what are you struggling with in content? These 3 items are going to be knocked out with this simple method I'm about to show you. So we ask, what are you struggling with? We take to a landing page and inform that person who's willing to fill out a question, who's willing to provide a question, where the answer to that question, where are you struggling, and tell them that we'll have a live session. So this Wednesday, just as I'm explaining to you. You let me know what you're struggling with this Wednesday in the group at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and in Zoom. I'll answer those questions with you, right? I'll answer the top 5. What are people struggling with? Creating content. I'll give you a formula. Create the best content. How do you get the best content? How do you do that? So here we go. How do you take that simple question and take them to a landing page and tell them where you're going to tell them the answer and turn that into a growth strategy? Well, we just ask people, if you find this useful, if you find this information useful, if you know somebody who can benefit from them, invite them. And we'll record the session just like we do in the 2 p.m.s here. So I'll record it so I can use that as content on YouTube. We can take snippets of it, put it on social media, stuff like that. Welcome. I see quite a few good friends here. Philippe, Pat, Susanna, Diane, thank you, JD. Happy to see you guys. Please let me know where you're struggling in branding, growth, and content development, and I'll answer your questions this Wednesday. And this is the same format that you can use. So what you do is ask where someone's struggling, take them to a landing page where you're going to inform them. Maybe it's a conference call, maybe it's Zoom. Keep it simple, keep it what your audience is going to most appreciate, where you get the most results. And once there, answer the questions. So let's say you're a healthy living coach and you find, what are you struggling with the most in eating healthy, right? And so you come in, you take the top 5 questions. The people are there. They come to get the answers to those questions, and you apply the answers and share with them that information. And again, ask the people if they find it useful to invite a friend to get that information, right, from you. And what this will eventually do is you could take your 5 friends and invite them, and maybe they invite 1 or 2 friends. And we'll take, and in the end of that session, when we're live, we're going to ask again, now knowing what you know, where are you struggling to apply this? And we'll schedule another session. We can do this over and over, right? Group after group, to continue to build growth in our brand, in our audience. So we're essentially asking the questions, where can we be the most helpful? Getting the answers to those questions. So we're learning about our ideal buyers, our ideal prospects, our ideal audience, our ideal people that we want to engage with, regardless of our industry or what have you. So with that being said, you can apply that method to ask the question, solve the problem, record it one-on-one with real people, giving them real results, real answers to their questions, and then again, take and pose the next question for a deeper level of learning. And even doing this was the way that we created this group in order to provide a learning platform that we didn't have to go pay a bunch for. We didn't have to spend a bunch of money getting it out or lose a bunch of time. We asked questions that people needed real answers to. And we provide some growth in the group by saying, if you find any of this useful, please invite somebody that can find it useful as well. So that's strategy 1. That's great for building branding, growth, and content. You're building content that answers questions that people want the answers to. Then you can leverage that content multiple ways. You can provide, I did a live event the other day. It made a YouTube video. I made a training video out of it. And, social media posts and quotes and little strategies, whatever. You can reuse stuff like that. And you can actually use it as opt-ins, right? You could get people onto your email list or what have you by saying this next method. So that first method, real quick, ask the question, what are you most struggling with? Invite via landing page or something. You use Survey Monkey. You can use all these type form. You can do all these sites to make it really easy to just ask the question. Then when people answer the question, they go to a place that says, meet me at Zoom tomorrow at this time to get the answers to your top 5 questions out of this audience. Using that, you record, produce content, and ask that audience again, invite people as well. What are you struggling with now knowing this? So you can get to a deeper level of learning. You can even build a course. If you're a coach, a health coach or something, think of that. Think actually solving the problems that people are looking for, and then putting that together in a manner that's free and provides trust for your brand and helps grow the content that your users are actually looking for. It's a simple grassroots method. So hopefully, I don't do the method justice. Like I said, there's Dave G, who has a digital mentorship marketing group on Facebook somewhere. I can invite you to that. And there's Jeff Walker's Teaching Seed Launch. This strategy comes from that. Learned it years ago, seen it applied, apply it in my own business, apply it everywhere. It works. It's brilliant. It helps. Now, let's say strategy 2. let's say you already have an audience and you want to build a relationship with a sector of that audience, like joint venture partners, like coaches or other people maybe interested in your product. That same survey method I've been using for the past 5 years to break down the door to get in with people that I'm most interested in working with. And what I mean to say is I'm able to connect with other business owners in my industry, which is like online web hosting, pretty niche, pretty small. It's global, but it's a pretty small group of people who have a high interest in knowing really highly technical web hosting things. But I will ask them since I'm connected with other founders, how about this? Here's the formula. So I'll go to other CEOs, founders of these companies, and I'll say, hey, like you, I've struggled, built, this is where we're at. I'm going to ask 100 people in our industry a simple question, and then take those answers and deliver them to you. Would you take this 2-minute survey? And we ask those questions. What are you most struggling with? Where have you found the most success? I'll put together something for us, but I've been working on a little spreadsheet so that we can have a good interview set. I've been wanting to really be able to interview people well, and you can apply that in this type of scenario for what questions maybe you want to ask based on the industry and who you're talking to. But I'll ask CEOs. You know, I'm surveying 100 other CEOs in our industry, in our position, the top leaders, and in return, I'll give you the results. Would you take this 2-minute survey? Boom. And we have a follow-up strategy. And then once we have that content, we deliver it to them. And that gives them something useful, insight into their business, their industry, their community. It also gives us a way to be top of mind, gives us a reason to speak to people and be valuable to that. So again, if you find any of this useful, please hit the invite, hit the thumbs up over here on the post. Let me know that spending my lunchtime with you guys is a good idea. I really appreciate all of the support and growth that we've seen over the past 2 months since we started the group. The idea here is for us to help others build a better business, to get more referrals, to learn these key strategies and focus on the strategies. So maybe not all of this is useful to you, but there is a way to extract the information and put it to work in your business. If you're struggling with that, message me. I'm happy to help. That's what we built this group for. It's fun to see you guys grow. I really appreciate the support. Let's get out there and build our email list. Let's build our brands. Let's grow. Lots of love and appreciation, and I'll see you guys at the top or to the left of the decimal for all my crypto lovers out there. I'll see you guys.